Welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sel.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, season 15. We're in between the finale and the reunion show, and we're talking about Stacia and Nate. But This is a sidebar. So for those of you who join us every week, you already know what it is. If you're new, we're just going to take a small side issue that my husband and I are talking about here at home about this couple, and we're going to blow it up into a video of its own because we're having the conversation at home. We might as well have it with you too.
Yeah.
So, Nate and Stacia, we've been rooting for them all season long. This has been our favorite couple, our power couple.
Yeah.
And even though Nate has been moving slower than Stacia, I've definitely been giving him a pass throughout the season and saying, like, look, this is a fast process. And I think it's really fast for him to be saying, or anybody to be saying for that matter, that they're in love. So, just give them a break. But now that they've gotten past the whole 8-week process and they've said yes, and there still hasn't been the I love you from Nate, and we don't know when it's coming, I'm nervous now. So I'm having this conversation with my husband, like, okay, they've gotten past all of this process, but he doesn't love her. So how do they move forward from here without the little issues or maybe even the medium or big issues that they have, like really tearing them down? Because a lot of times the bond, what keeps you together, what ties you together is the love that you already have. So they don't have that. He certainly doesn't have that. And understanding that she is controlling, that she can be very particular. And there's just a lot of little things, not abnormal, that they have to work through, but they're not working through it in love yet.
Yes.
So I'm nervous for them now. How do they navigate that? How does anybody navigate, like, a marriage without love or a marriage before love?
Yeah. Well, I think first, just with them being through with the process, I think that's going to help. The cameras are gone. It's them two on their own. The stress of it is gone. So that may help them up tremendously just with that. And then number two, I think Stacia getting to know Nate and Nate getting to know Stacia a whole lot better. I think that's going to help it. I mean, you can't really love a person until you really know them anyway. And so I think Stacia showing Nate exactly who she is underneath, being really vulnerable with him, I think that's going to help. And we all know her as the boss bee. She's running she's running the show and all of this stuff. She's very successful. But who are you underneath all of that? Getting really, really for real. I mean, because I remember when they went to go visit one of her childhood homes of the family that was raising her. And Nate really enjoyed that because that gave him a side of her that she doesn't necessarily show. And so who is the real Stacia? And that will help him, I think, to start to gain those feelings for her.
I mean, I guess my concern comes in because I feel like, I don't know. I know that he's going to feel like there's pressure on him. And I think that Stacia is going to feel like he's on the clock. When she said yes, her yes didn't sound to me like an unequivocal, like, I'm all in 100% for the rest of our lives yes. It also kind of felt like a contingent yes, kind of like how Alexis's yes felt. Like, I'm giving us more time. I want to fight for this marriage. I want to try to see if it can work. But to me also that said, he's on the clock. She's not going to want to wait indefinitely for that love to come. I think that if problems, I guess this is where my big concerns come in, because I feel like if problems arise, both of them are going to get triggered, because if she starts to really pressure him on you haven't said you love me, what's up, what's going on, and he starts to kind of like recoil a little bit, he's also going to be nervous that, okay, I'm on the clock. Is she going to put me out of the house soon? Like, what's about to start happening? Yeah. So I think all of those fears that he has are going to become realized if she doesn't hear what she needs to hear. I don't know what her time frame is, but I can just about guarantee that she has one in her head. Am I going to give this 3 months, 6 months, a year? But if he hasn't said, I love you, by whatever her time frame is, there's gonna be a price to pay. That's what I think. I mean, let us know what you guys think about that. But I do have concerns, and I think the more she kind of puts the screws to him, the more resistant he's going to become, because he's kind of a strong-willed, bullheaded, a little bit stubborn type of person, and I don't know that he's going to necessarily just bow into that.
Yeah. Well, one thing that they did discuss is that they were more than willing, and they were supposed to be going to counseling, therapy together, and I think that's going to help them tremendously, throughout this whole thing. But again, for me personally, I think it's just her showing him who she really is. Because like you said, it's only been 8 weeks. I don't know you. You're a stranger. And so it's too soon for me to catch feelings the way you want me to. Give me some time. And in that time, show me who you really are underneath. Show me, yes, I understand that you're 37 years old and you're successful, and you're more than likely not going to leave our kid, like you said.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear that you're not going to leave me. You haven't shown me that you're not going to kick me out. You haven't shown me any of those type things. So let me know who you are underneath.
But doesn't that set up a bad, beginning of your marriage type of thing? I mean, I feel like most people, when they envision marriage, even if they aren't hopeless romantics or anything like that, they imagine going into a marriage feeling in love.
Yeah.
And that love bonding them through whatever issues that they have. So still being in this situation where you're trying to not convince the other person to love you, but you're still trying to open up to the point where they can. I feel like it's going to set a bad taste in her mouth, because if he doesn't love her, if he doesn't say he loves her for a year, it's like, okay, so now we're in love. Now what do? We go on a re-honeymoon type thing now that we're in love? Because it feels like you will have been shorted for that amount of time. I don't know. That's hard to think of.
It is. You know what? But I think of it in terms like this, especially for Married at First Sight. For the most part, the couples that have a slow, steady build, those are the ones that have kind of stay together.
But we see it as slow and steady because we're watching every week, waiting for the development. But I'm trying to think of a couple that stayed together, and you tell me, and you guys tell me if you know. I can't think of one off the top of my head that stayed together for the long term, and they hadn't actually said that they love each other yet. I mean, we know a Jasmina and Michael said yes at the moment, but we knew that wasn't built to last. Yeah. They hadn't loved each other. They weren't going to say it. They were never going to say it. But couples that really stayed together for the long term, I think they got there in that 8 weeks.
You think so?
Can you think of one?
I could be wrong, but I'm thinking about Karen and Miles.
They hadn't said they loved each other?
I don't think so. Y'all let us know that Karen or Miles, well, I think Miles probably said that he loved her. But I don't think Karen said that she was in love.
You're making me want to go back and rewatch the whole season.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking about Greg, and I can't think of her name. Deanna.
I think they did.
You think Deanna said that she loved her? Deanna was kind of cold for most of that season. She wasn't really playing with the dude. She was drinking her wine don't touch me. So there are some.
You know what? You're right, but it was right after, because we watched the reunion show, and she said she loved him shortly thereafter. So it happened really quickly afterwards. Yeah. I'm hoping that's where Nate is with it, that he just wants the cameras off and the pressure off, because I think if he can get to the place where he says I love you quickly, it's going to help ameliorate whatever problems they're going to face too, because you want to feel like you're working through your problems with your spouse with love tied into it.
True.
Not with still I'm building this relationship like you're just my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So that's my concern. I'm worried. I know a couple of people have already said that they don't think Nate and Stacia are still together, and so I start getting nervous and start having this conversation with my husband, because I'm I really don't want to go to the reunion show and find out that they didn't stay together. I want to go to the reunion show and Nate be that same day, I finally opened up and told her I love her, because I think it's going to be necessary. It's something that she really needs.
Yes.
And it's at this point, you're going to be in a marriage, you're going to be 100% committed to it. And I think that's key.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not going to be in love with each other, you at least have to have that 100% commitment. I'm not going anywhere. I'm committed to what we do have.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only thing I can think that will sustain them, and not like thinking of it in terms of it's on a time, like a timeline.
Yeah, exactly. I think they can get there. I hope that they have gotten there, but we're gonna find out in that reunion show for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think. I think it's a scary prospect, this whole marriage with no love thing, but if they said it right afterwards, then I think we're good.
Yeah.
Our favorite couple can last. If not, we might be in a world of trouble and in for a world of disappointment at this reunion show.
Yeah, exactly. So. But you know what? Just real quick to respond to some of the people that's been leaving comments and everything. Yes, Stacia is a very commanding and a very controlling person. We've seen that. But people can change, especially in a relationship, when you start to get to know one another and you begin to trust one another.
Yeah.
And she said that she trusts him. She doesn't trust him.
And
so just like she's looking for love from him, he's looking for trust for her. And she says she did, but she really hasn't, made that transition as far as what she was doing that said, I trust you. And so it's a process for two people to get to know one another and to let their guards down and become vulnerable. It takes time. It takes a lot longer than 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And so that's what they've been experiencing. They can do it if they, like my wife just said, they stay committed to one another.
Yeah. So we'll see, guys. Give your predictions for the reunion show below. I'm still going to say that they're staying together. I hope so. But if you think or otherwise, go ahead and drop it in that comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.